Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's edition of Leading for Experience, Agility, and Performance series. My name is Yanni Amouris, and this month we're going to be focusing on a critical factor that separates truly agile, high-performing teams from the rest, and that is psychological safety. We're going to talk about what it is, why it's so essential, and how you, as a leader, can foster it in your teams. Do not take my word for it. Look at some of the research that's been done on this very important topic. So when you think about Google's Project Aristotle, they found that the number one factor in performance and innovation for teams is psychological safety. Deloitte's study on inclusive leadership found that teams with high psychological safety have 74% reduction in turnover. Hopefully, these statistics and some of the ones that I'm going to share over the next few minutes will convince you that this is definitely a skill and a behavior that you want to foster on your team. Let's first start with what. What is psychological safety? Psychological safety is the shared belief that among team members that it's safe to take risks, share ideas, admit mistakes, and voice concerns without fear of punishment or humiliation. It's about creating an environment where people feel comfortable speaking up and where their input is valued. So why does this matter within the context of an agile environment? Because agility thrives on openness, collaboration, and experimentation. Without psychological safety, even the best planned agile processes will fall flat. People won't suggest new approaches. They will not call out potential issues or take the risks needed to innovate. So why is this important? Let's talk a little bit about the why. So I mentioned Google's Project Aristotle, one of the most widely referenced studies on team performance. They found that psychological safety was the single most important factor in high-performing teams. Research from Harvard Business Review also showed that teams with high psychological safety are 27% more likely to feel empowered to make decisions, 34% more likely to share their best ideas, and 35% more likely to develop creative solutions. So teams that have that psychological safety are more agile, they're higher performing, and there is real world evidence to support this. So how do you create psychological safety? How can you foster it? Here are some quick tips. Start with vulnerability, encourage it. As a leader, model the behavior that you want to see. Admit your own mistakes. Share some of your own fears and insecurities. Share what you're learning. And show to your team that it's okay to be human and to not be perfect. But it's important that you go first and model that. Promote open communication. Make it a habit to ask for input and genuinely listen. Ask open-ended questions, not closed questions, but open-ended questions like, what do you think about this approach? Or what concerns do you have that we have not addressed? When people see their voices are heard, they'll be more likely to speak up in the future. I would also say set clear expectations for respectful communication. Establish norms for how your team treats one another. Make it clear that it's okay to have conflict and that respectful disagreement and healthy debate are encouraged. And that's how innovation takes place. And then reward risk-taking. If your team members are taking risks, if they're being innovative, and let's say they fail, don't stop them, right? Acknowledge that they failed, but help them fail fast so that they could get up and try again. Celebrate the fact that they even thought outside of the box and took risks. In the spirit of moving from concept and theory to action and the now what, I'd like to leave you with a few questions to reflect on your own leadership practices, to truly think, am I a leader that creates psychological safety? How do I respond when a team member challenges my perspective or offers a dissenting opinion? Am I open to it? What are my facial expressions? What's my mood when someone challenges me? Because again, psychological safety is about allowing your team to challenge one another, even you, without fear of humiliation or conflict. How do you respond, right, when a team member admits to a mistake or failure? Do you go into punitive mode, or do you focus more on what we can learn from this and actually celebrate the risk taking? How often do I seek out feedback from my team? And how do I handle it when it's not positive? Again, you want to role model the behaviors that you want to see in them. How do I consistently show appreciation for team members who take risks and experiment, even if they do not achieve the desired outcome? And then lastly, how clear am I in setting expectations for respectful communication? And do I model the behaviors I want to see? So when it comes to communication, I'm talking about things like feeling safe to say, I disagree with this, or I like to challenge you with this, or even saying things like, I don't really understand what you mean by this. Can you help explain? It might be a useful idea to help the team create a team charter where you establish norms about what's okay and what's not okay. Before you exit out of this video, take a moment to think about these questions, and your answers can help you identify small changes that you can make today to build a more psychologically safe and agile team. Thank you so much for joining us for this month's edition of LEAP, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.